Okay, so good afternoon, good evening, good morning from wherever you are in the world. All right, picked that particular line from my assistant, from Imolayo. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ikechukwu Achom, and as you all know, I'm the program manager for KodeCamp. Yeah, so today we're actually going to be looking at something very important, right? Goal setting and time management, okay? How can you accelerate your success? For a lot of you, you've signed up on KodeCamp, you have chosen a track, and the likes, okay? Classes kicks off on Monday, classes kick off on Monday. Now, how can I succeed? Right? How do I get to now succeed? Because it is not enough to, sign up. It's not enough to join the Discord. It's not enough to get all the roles and everything. It does not guarantee that you will actually come out successful in this boot camp. There is no guarantee that joining, means that you will succeed. There are a few things you need to know, and that's why all through this week we are trying as much as possible to sensitize you guys and guide you properly on those things that you need to actually succeed. Okay, so that being said, let's get straight into what we have. So let's get straight into my slide now. Okay, so just one more time, confirm you can see my first slide. So you should see goal setting and time management workshop by KodeCamp. Just confirm that for me on the chat. Yes, okay, good. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so let the show begin. Right. So we're looking at goal setting and time management. This is a workshop, right? So some of the things we're going to be talking about are things you can start doing practically, right? I would encourage you, if you have a book and a pen somewhere, or you have a notepad, maybe on your phone or whatever, get it ready, okay? By the end of this workshop, you should be able to have tangible goals for this boot camp and maybe your life, actually, if you want to, right? And then how you can, kind of manage your time, right? We'll talk about time management. The word time management that I use is very, it's intentional, right? At one point, someone actually asked me, do we really manage time? When you say time management, someone sees it as, okay, you're trying to manage your time. Do we really manage our time? Now we'll get to talk about that. So let's get started. So as an introduction, there's this quote by Brian Tracy, and he said, goals are the fuel in the furnace of achievement. Okay. Without them, you drift through life aimlessly, without focus, and you never truly unleash your potential, right? You never truly unleash your potential. So they are the fuel. It's what actually that's what causes you to burn. You know what fuel does? So when you add fuel to fire, what happens? It's kind of just the fire and everything just escalates and everything. So it's what keeps you burning. If you do not have it, you will drift through life aimlessly, without focus, and you will never unleash your what potential. So that's just a food for thought. Okay. Yes, about me, my name is Ikechukwu Achom. Like I said, I'm a mobile developer. I build for both iOS and Android, basically native, Flutter, Kotlin, Java, and the likes. I'm a product designer. I'm also a product manager. I'm an author. Yes, I have a book for some of you that do not know, or some of you that know. I'm a songwriter, and I'm also a musician. Okay. Yeah, so that's just about me. Okay, that's not the focus. But anyhow, just have to put that there. Okay. Um, okay, I think someone is saying they can't hear me. Please confirm. Augustine says he or she can't hear me. I don't know if it's a female or a male. Okay, so I think Augustine, it may probably be from your end, right? So I probably log off and log back in, though that's a risky move. seeing that the Zoom is almost filled up. Okay, so yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Akis15. So let's move on. So what is a goal, right? A goal is a specific target, okay, or outcome that you aim to achieve in a set time. Okay, key things there, right? I'm going to just point out. It's a specific, it is specific. It's not ambiguous. It's not unclear. It's not so, no, it is very easy to blame people for something, right? We blame almost everybody for our issues, right? So you are the one that aims to achieve it, and it is done in a set time. There is a duration for it. Okay, there is a duration, there is a time. If you do not add a time frame to what you are doing, right, you will almost never do it. Okay, you will almost never do it. So permit me, at some point I'll be asking if you can hear me, just to be sure that we are on the same page and I've not left you guys. So just one more time, confirm you can hear me. Just one more time. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. So let's look at some of the benefits. So like I said, so your goals can actually be short. It can be short term, right? It can be medium term, or it can actually be long term, right? And it's something that can be related to any aspect of your life. It could be a personal growth, it could be career development, which I believe all of you on this call, right, you're here for. It could be health and fitness. You could have a goal regarding your health, to stay fit. It could be financial stability. That could be your goal, right? It could also be your goal, or it could actually be relationships. Let's say maybe at the end of KodeCamp 4.0, I would find, in fact, in KodeCamp, I want to see my life partner. If that's your goal, well, no problem. Okay. At least that's you being specific. So that's basically, those are the aspects, right? So it can be to lose weight, right? Maybe you want to learn a new skill, you want to get promoted at work. So basically, goals provide you with a sense of direction and motivation, and it helps you to focus your efforts and stay on track to achieve what you want to. But the thing is, how do you set these goals, seeing that they are important? Okay, so before we go into that, let's look at some of the benefits. What some of the benefits of what goals, right? um so, first of all, one thing that having a goal does is that it gives you increased motivation. So, setting goals gives you a sense of what purpose and what direction. You now know what to do, okay, and you know where to go, and that increases your what motivation to work towards them. You actually what know, since you know that, okay, in the next 4 months, this is what I want to what achieve. There is a sense, there is increased motivation that comes from what having what goals, set goals, right? So it gives you a sense of purpose and direction. And of course, when you have purpose, when you have direction, you will have motivation. You won't be easily what faced, even when you hit a roadblock, because you know where you are going to, right? You will not be faced, right? You may fall, but you will definitely stand up. Okay. So improved performance is another benefit, right? Of course, studies have actually shown that people who set specific challenging goals, they perform better than those who do not. Studies have actually shown that. So of course, better decision making. When you actually have clear goals, it becomes easier to make decisions, right? Because a typical example is this: if you are here and your plan is to, or your goal is to be, a product designer, a sought after product designer by the end of this boot camp, decisions in your life will become a bit much easier, right? You, of course, it depends on you, Sha, but this certain decision line to that what goal. which helps you to lead, kind of make better decisions. So there are certain decisions you won't take because it goes away from the goal you have actually set, right? So probably you want to do you want to be a product designer, and then in the course of your you now see, maybe you're just scrolling through YouTube and you now see a course on front end, right? There's no need, you won't actually even want to click on it because it is away from what your goals. So it helps you to make better decisions. Having clear-cut goals helps you make better, right? It gives you greater self-awareness. When you set goals, you now become more aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. And that is what a lot of you will find out in this boot camp. You now know your strength, you know your weakness, you know where you need to improve. Some of you, it could be the fact that you are someone who does things late. Always, you do things late. Then KodeCamp will show you. See, KodeCamp will show you your true self in a certain way, right? You see your strengths, you see your weaknesses. So that's what having a goal does, right? KodeCamp, we have our goals. We have our goals and objectives. I think I shared a bit of that in the orientation session, right? And because at this point, this is where we need to improve upon. This is where we are not too strong. So what do? We build on that note. Okay. So that is one of the benefits of having goals, right? Okay, somebody wants to be kicked out. Okay. Okay. And then of course we have improved mental health. Okay. Studies have also shown that people who set goals, you have lower levels of stress and anxiety, and you are less prone to depression. Now, don't misunderstand me. It doesn't mean that when you have goals, things will just work out. Everything will just align. No, right? But it's not as bad as someone who doesn't even know where he or she is going. And that's one thing purpose helps you to do. That's one thing purpose can give you. So your mental health is actually improved because you know what you want to achieve, right? You have a target. So there are certain things you will not even allow to stress you. In fact, the stress you will have, can I interest you with something? The stress you have when chasing a goal is different from the stress you have when you have nothing to chase. Your mental health will be it will be messed up where you don't have direction, you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go. Your mental health is stressed. It's different from when you know where you're going to, right? And you just know, okay, I have 2 more months. I've been sleepless nights and everything. See, that stress, there's what I call a thing. It's not I'm not even sure you can browse it and it's there. But there's what I call good stress, right? That is me. There's a stress that is good for me. And that is the stress that comes when I am chasing what I love. Chasing what I love to do, what I am passionate about. When I am singing, see, it is stressful. For those of you who probably are musicians, scoring songs, having to attend rehearsals, it's not very convenient. But because it's something you love to do, right? Even though you're stressed, you still wake up in the morning. You still listen. You still do what you need to do to get the work done. But trust me, if it's something you don't like to do, your mental health will be messed up, right? So, and then of course, better relationships, right? When you know where you're going to, you choose. In fact, you should, right? You should choose better people around you. So when you are setting goals, right, it helps you when you know where you're going to, when you have your goal set, it helps you to sieve the people around you. It helps you to connect with people, but your relationships is better in the sense that it is people who help you, who bring out the best in you, people who know where you're going, people who are like-minded, right? Now, am I saying that, for example, if you're in UI UX, you cannot have a relationship with somebody who is in backend? Of course not. That's not what I'm saying. In as much as two of you are going to two different areas, right? But the thing is, you're still in the tech space. There's still other shared goals that both of you may have, which, for example, is graduating from or being a finalist and all those stuff. In fact, that's a generic goal. That's a shared goal for everybody here, right? So you can now decide this person. No. Anytime I talk to this person, this person doesn't even say things that kind of helps me to, no, I'll just shift you one side. Remember, friendship is by choice, it's not by force, right? So having goals helps you to get better relationships, because you bring people who are beneficial to you and where you're going to. You have them around you. It helps you to strengthen the bond, and you guys now have a sense of there's this what we call a shared sense of purpose, right? Because both of you, 3 of you, or 4 of you, or 10 of you, like I think in one of the boot camps, I can't remember, there was this set of persons. They were so connected, right? And they were when this one is having issues, they just come together, they study. In fact, I think one of the times I was invited to join their study session. I think it has, I can't remember the, I've not even said that, I've not even talked about this before. I can't remember the cohorts, but, and funny enough, all of them graduated. They pushed each other. Now, it is not copy and paste. It's not because when this one doesn't know, this one will do assignments for them. In fact, I joined, what's it called? ALX, my first cohort in ALX, right? And one of the things some persons do is they'll just come on, it's peer-to-peer learning. They just come on the call. Okay, if you're having issues, okay, bring it. And then you bring it on the call. They're actually somebody is explaining, somebody is solving, not doing it. Okay, that's because there was a shared sense of purpose. Okay, so these are the benefits, right? These are the benefits. So since you know that these are the benefits, how can you actually now create, how can you set your goals? So we're going to be looking at SMART goals. Now, the word SMART, some of you may know this, is actually an acronym. It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So your goals should actually be SMART. And now we'll look into each and every one of them, right? So let's start with the first one, or the first two rather. So specific. So it's specific. Your goal should be clear and specific. It should answer the questions what, why, and how. If your goal does not answer these 3 questions, I wouldn't say it's not a goal, but you almost find it impossible to achieve. So your goal should clearly state what needs to be accomplished. Why is it important? See, the why of everything is as important as the what, because you draw your strength from the why. Okay? You draw your strength from the why. So your goal should clearly state what needs to be accomplished, why it's important, and how it will be achieved. Okay, so specific goals helps you to focus efforts and increase the likelihood of success. So the question is this, like I said, have your pen and paper, just jot down stuff. It doesn't need to, in fact, after this session, I'll probably have another session. Don't worry, it's outside of this for people who want me to look into their goals and see how we can help them achieve it, right? But don't meet me for money. Okay, that's on a lighter note. So your goals should answer the what, why, and how. Very important. So this is an example. A specific goal for a tech trainee in KodeCamp might be, I want to learn to build a full stack web application using, let's say, a MERN stack technology. When I say MERN is just is an acronym: MongoDB, Express JS, React JS, and Node.js. So that's full stack. So that could be a goal, a specific goal. I want to learn how to build a full stack web application. That means there's front end, there's back end. So a goal like this is specific because it defines what the trainee wants to achieve. And it went as far as defining the technologies that they will have to learn. So the what and the why. So the why there could be so that I can be, a full stack developer and probably land an internship. I would actually say internship or a job role, right? So that's what a specific goal. Okay, so your goal should be specific. Now, the next thing that your goal should actually fall under is that your goal should be measurable. Your goal should be measurable. Your goals should be quantifiable and measurable, so progress can be what tracked and evaluated. Someone reached out to me with his goals for the year, and I saw a few things, and I asked him, how do you plan to measure this? How do you know that at the end of the year, this particular stuff, you've achieved it, right? So your goals should be what measurable. Okay, your goals should be measurable. Please, who is the person who is using who is annotating on this? Right? Stop it. Okay, stop it. So yeah, let's continue, please. I kind of don't want to be distracted, so let's stay on track. You don't try to do anything on the screen. Don't try to request anything. Okay, so your goals should be what? Quantifiable and measurable. And the reason is so that you can track it and you can also evaluate yourself. Okay, so you can track it, so you can evaluate yourself. And this basically just involves you establishing, like a criteria for measuring progress and knowing when the goal has been achieved. Okay. And it just helps you to provide a way to, know how successful you are and to help you identify areas of improvement. So your goal should be measurable. That's actually that's self-explanatory. All right. Now, your goal should be achievable. Please set realistic and attainable goals. And you should always consider, what's it called? Okay, someone just, I think I did not. I say right, to make your goal measurable, you could set specific milestones or objectives, right? It could be completing your assessments. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. But you
Okay,
broke up.
seems yeah, yeah, network kicks me out. Okay, so let me just share my screen. So where did you lose me? The person who spoke, just on mute. Yeah, where did you lose me? What did you hear last?
Uh, can't even.
Ach
I just.
I've got you. Okay, don't worry. Let's go. Someone said achievable. Yeah, but I think I was giving an example. I wanted to step back to give an example of a measurable goal, right? Right, is that as a trainee, you could set specific milestones, right? Or objectives, such as probably finishing up a tutorial, right? Let's finish up a tutorial, building a project, or passing your assessment, whatever assessment that is, right? Or okay, you could say, okay, you know what? In every assessment, I will get nothing less than 90. So it's easy to measure because when you get 45 or you get 0, it means you've actually failed in that area. So that's actually that. So another example of a measurable goal is you could, for a designer, I could say, okay, fine. By the end of 4.0, I should have 3 mobile designs, or in my portfolio, I should have 2 mobile designs, 1 full web page or whatever. So it's just something that you can measure, right? Okay, so to achievable, right? So like I was saying, goals should be realistic and attainable, and it should consider the available resources, skills, and constraints. Now, am I saying you should not have faith? Am I saying you should not, push yourself? No, 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 I'm not saying that. But you should be realistic. Your goal should be attainable. Now, a typical example of an unattainable goal is that for a beginner expecting that at the end of 4.0, you'll be a full stack developer. That is unattainable and it is unrealistic. You cannot be a full stack developer in 4 months or an a best product designer. It's not possible. It's unattainable. It should be realistic. It should be attainable. All right, considering the available resources, skills, and constraints. So while it's important to set ambitious goals, they should also be within the reach, and it should be feasible given the circumstances. So understand where you are, understand your knowledge gap, understand the resources, how you probably my data, I think I can just use 10 gig in a month at most, right? Or every time I can go to this place is around 7 p.m. and I have to be back by 9 p.m. You have to consider these things when setting what a goal, right? Because achievable goals motivate individuals and teams to take action and maintain momentum. Because now it is within the confines of resources that are available, skill sets, and whatever constraints that may be there, right? So while it's important to set, ambitious goals, right, you should consider, as a trainee, you should consider your current skill level. You should consider the resources. You should consider the time frame. For example, if some of you who are just starting your bootcamp tech journey for the very first time, is so unrealistic, like I said, to aim for mastery of certain advanced concepts. So instead, what you should do is focus on mastering the basics, and then you're gradually building up to more complex stuff. So the R in SMART means relevant, right? So your goals should be relevant and aligned with broader objectives and priorities. Okay, they should contribute to the overall mission and vision of the individual or a team or organization, right? So relevant goals are meaningful and they have a clear purpose and they inspire commitment and engagement. So for a trainee now, right, the goal should be relevant to your career aspiration and objectives of this bootcamp. For example, if your ultimate goal is to be a full stack developer, then you know that learning the MERN stack, which is learning MongoDB, the whole Node.js, React, and all that, right? Express, right? Learning that stack and provides valuable skills. So you need to know what is relevant. Product designers, whatever you are learning, whatever you want to become, make sure it is what's relevant. Whatever that goal is, it should be relevant. Very important. Else, you end up achieving something right that may not be what's relevant. And then the last one is time bound, right? Time bound. This is very, very important. Time bound. So goals should be time bound. Time bound means that it should have a defined timeline or deadline for completion. Okay. What this does is that it creates a sense of urgency and helps prevent procrastination. Okay. So when you set specific deadlines, it actually helps you to, it encourages you to be accountable and also gives you a sense of structure. Okay. So, for instance, okay, for a trainee, you could actually set a time frame of, let's say, 6 months to achieve the goal of building a full stack project. Now, this is not just bootcamp. You've learned it after 4 months. So what I'm not saying is that after the 4th month, taking 2 extra months, you should be able to build a full stack project. Full stack, right? I'm not saying that's the best. I'm not giving you a timeline, oh, please. I'm just giving an example. So don't go and say that Ike's inspired me. And in the next 6 months, and when you're please, I'm not inspiring you to take exactly, no, modify it, understand your constraints, understand yourself and your ability. Okay. So like I said, that's for an instance, right? Let's say 6 months to build a full stack project, or maybe 2, or maybe 3. So what do? You now break down that 6 months timeline into smaller chunks that will help you. So you could say, okay, 6 months. Let's say the first month, right? The first month in KodeCamp, or after KodeCamp, you've learned your, let's say for front end, you've learned your front end, right? You haven't been introduced to React. That's okay, fine. The first month or first 2 weeks, first 3 weeks, I'll finish the UI. I'll implement every UI of that project. The next 2 weeks, I'll just take a very short course on backend. Right? I'm not giving you any timeline, no, and I'm not saying you can learn backend in 1 month or 2 months. I'm just saying, just giving you an example. So break down that timeline into smaller chunks, and furthermore breaking down those activities. Okay. So if you have questions, keep it. I'll just answer everything. But let's now talk about time management. Okay. If you have question on the goals, just keep it. I'll answer everything during the Q&A session. Now, let's talk about time management. So let me say this. Nobody really has more time than the other person. Nobody. Okay. Nobody has more time than the other. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. And the thing is this, it is what we do with our time that kind of makes it look like or feel like someone else has more time than us or less. Have you ever had a discussion with someone, the person is like, I did this, but I achieved this, and then we start saying, because you had all the time now, me, I'm working 9 to 5. You, what are you doing? That's no. The person doesn't have more time. Everybody has 24 hours. The person doesn't have more time. You have 24, he has 20. It's to be utilized. It is always in motion. It will never stop for you. It's always in motion. You can see this guy here. He's just moving. I'm talking. It's moving. It's not waiting for me. This is not fiction. This is not, Doctor Strange. Stop time. No. Well, this is reality, right? So cannot be managed. And I'm going to explain. That's why I said it was intentional for me to put time management. Time in itself cannot be managed, okay? In the sense of you trying to, control it or manipulate it. No. However, what you do is that you manage your activities, your priorities, and your behaviors within the constraints of what time. Okay, so what people when you want to what people say time management is basically the process of planning, organizing, and prioritizing tasks and activities to make the most efficient and effective use of one's time. Okay, so you cannot manage time. You manage activities. You manage tasks, okay, such that it was within the constraints of what time. So time, it's always 24 hours a day. It's always 60 seconds make 1 minute. Whoever did the calculation, man, it's not my business. When I came to this world, I met it. We are all using it. The only difference is time zones, right? So, okay, fine. If it is 12:44 here, maybe it is about, let's say, 6:44 in the US or whatever, right? For those countries that have 6 hour difference, 5 hours difference, but they also have 24 hours, right? Okay, so let's just take note of that. So, now how can we manage our time? Okay, remember, time management is not actually managing time, but managing the efficient and effective use of your time. Okay, so how do we do this? I'll just give us about 6 and then we're done. Get to questions. So first of all, set goals and priorities. Okay, we've talked about goals now, right? But now we're looking at this with the constraints of time, the confines of time, right? The scope of time. Okay, clearly defining goals and identifying priorities will help you focus your time and energy on tasks that align with their objectives. So when you wake up in the morning, what do you have to do for the day? If you fail, there's this quote, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I'm going to give us a conclusion, a very hard one, hard conclusion in this line. Okay, so it helps you when you set goals and priorities. It helps you to focus your time and energy on tasks that align with their what objectives. Create schedules, create routines, develop daily tasks, daily schedules, weekly, monthly. This will actually help you to allocate time to specific what task. And trust me, that's what improves what productivity. You don't just wake up in the morning and then you don't even know what you want to do, right? You don't know what you want to do. You don't have any clear-cut goal. Trust me, the next thing is if you have data, social media, and then you stay there for 2 hours, trending, and then later on you say you don't have time. If we calculate, there's something my phone does. It shows me the application that I have used mostly, like in a week, the apps I used, I spent a longer time on. Right? For some of us, if we check it on your phone, you just know how long, how much time you have underutilized or you've wasted. Trust me, you can't get it back. It's gone. We will never have a 6th of May 2024 again. That was yesterday, that's passed. We'll only have 6th of May 2025. But you see that of 2024 and everything that it came with, it has gone. What did you do with it? What did you achieve with that 24 hours that you were given? Assuming this world that you came in was a job and you were you're an employee and you have to account for every time, everything you do with time. And if it is not in line with the job that you were sent on this world to do, you will not be paid. Maybe, just maybe that's why some of us are not prospering, because they sent you to achieve something, to become something, right? But the resource that was given to you, which is time, because time is a resource. The resource that was given to you, you use it for things that is not related to what you were sent here for, right? Or what you plan to achieve. But interestingly, you want to live a good life. You want to live a prosperous life when you are underutilizing time. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Don't think that, well, look at the likes of Elon Musk. Do you think he sleeps 24 hours a day? He spends all his time on social media? Dangote, no, do you think they spend all their time on social media? No, it doesn't work that way, right? Set goals and priorities. Very important. Very, very important. The next one is I'm trying to see if I'll follow an order. But well, all of them is basically just intertwined. So set goals and priorities, right? Create schedules and routines. Okay, create schedule and routines. Very, very important. Create schedules and routines. Have daily, weekly, monthly schedules. Okay, today there's something I do. Maybe I'll probably well, it's just that it contains sensitive information. Else I would have maybe I'll just put a sample. I'll just drop the format. There's something I do as far as my task is concerned for the day. I write out, for example, KodeCamp. Okay. I'll just say, for example, today, Tuesday, this. KodeCamp. Under KodeCamp, I list out all the things I need to achieve for that day. Under Code House, I list out. Under this project, I list out. Under this project, I list out. Sometimes I end up having over 40 something, 50 something tasks to do, 20 something, 30 something for something tasks to do. And I break it down to the barest minimum, even if part of the task is to send somebody a message. For example, I need to get a feedback from Imoleayo, I'll put it there. Send message to Imoleayo and get feedback on this. In fact, I could further break it down. Sending the message could be one of the tasks. Getting the feedback could be another one. Why? I want to be able to tick stuff. Because you see that ticking, done, it gives you this sense of motivation and what fulfillment. I've done one thing on my to-do. So I could break it down. I was okay, send message to Imoleayo, one. The second one could be get feedback, because it's possible when I send the message, probably what I need from her may take her about 30 minutes, 40 minutes to cook up, right? And I may not remember to go back and ask her how far. So once I send that message, I got my tickets, and here I know I've done one. There's this sense of fulfillment. You cannot breathe. Okay, 1 out of 52. So develop schedules, create routines. You have your phone, you have your Google, you have your calendar. Put alarms, put reminders. Okay. The other one, the next one is to prioritize what tasks. Identify urgent and important tasks. Very important, because it allows you to prioritize your workload and allocate time and resources accordingly. Look, you see, prioritizing is a serious skill. It's not, see, it's something that takes, because sometimes what people feel is important is not actually important in the long run. That's why it's very good to set your goals and priorities. So when you list out these things, you need to be able to say, okay, this is more important than this, right? This is more important than this. This one is more important than this. Okay. So prioritize your tasks. Okay. It helps you to allocate time and resources. Okay. So yeah, then managing distractions, very important. Manage distractions. Minimize distractions, guys. Your distraction could be social media, right? It could be some of your email notifications. It could be you. Can I even tell you something? Multitasking is also a distraction, if not well managed. Multitasking is a major, in fact, multitasking is one of the major forms of distraction in a workplace. You know, when you have a lot of things to do, like if you don't manage it, that's where when you don't prioritize your tasks. Multitasking, you're doing this one, you're working, some of you that say, I work well when I'm listening to music. Okay, no, I don't doubt you. I work well when when there's a movie by the side. No problem. No, I'm not against you, right? But trust me, those are still distractions, right? Social media, you're working, you're trying to do a task, and then you just see a message. Tonton, you just see a post by Sabinus, and then you just click from one video to 2 videos to 3 videos. Before you know it, about 2 gig worth of data is off, but yet you complain that you don't have data to join class. So minimize distraction. Okay, it helps you to maintain focus and concentrate on your work. Set boundaries. Set boundaries around your work hours. Except you, I know there are people who have very nonsense set of friends. And when I say nonsense, I mean that in a funny way. There was a time in one of the boot camps, I had a lot to do that period, and there was a particular this night. So I decided to try something. I was like, I needed to use my phone as a hotspot. So I did not, because my Wi-Fi was down, and I did not need anybody calling me, right? And at the same time, I did not want to turn on DND, right? Okay, because I was also expecting a message. So I sent something on my status. I was like, please, no calls till 10 p.m. And some of the nonsense people on my phone started, as in that time I said don't call. That's when they decided to call. Right. So you need to be able to establish what boundaries, right? Establish what boundaries within your work hours. So time to so time. People should know that at this point you're working, right? For example, 90% of people around me, the 10% will be people that are probably just kind of interacting with me right now. They know that from morning, from 8 to at least about 9:30, 10, don't call me, because at that point, I'm in my daily stand-up with that's where I work. Don't even call. They know. Except people who, like I said, probably they are just interacting with me newly, right? Because I've established that down to my parents even know, so they don't even call at that time. They don't. And if you call, like busy the call, that's simple. There's some person that feel, somebody said to me, busy a call is rude. I said, that means I'll be the rudest person you ever meet, right? Establish what boundaries. Your personal time should be your personal time, guys. All these people you're letting into your life and you're enjoying it by having fun. The question is, what have you achieved? Why are you even having fun, Seth? Right? Tell me what you've achieved. I'm not against fun, don't mind me. Understand the context, right? Because there are people that they have fun more than they actually have work. They have fun more than they actually have work. Why are you having fun? What have you achieved in this life? Right? I'm not saying how much is your account, though, because if you like, to me, if you like have 10 billion in your account, it makes no sense. If money was it, then the likes of Elon Musk, they should stop now. Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg, they should just stop. They have money. They should stop. They should just stop. Right? So establish boundaries, right? Around your work hours, your personal time, and commitments. This will actually help you to maintain a healthy work-life balance rather, and then prevent burnouts. Then the last one is time-saving techniques, okay? Use time-saving techniques, right? There's what we call, strategies like batch processing, time blocking, and delegation. Okay, you're basically now delegating time. Okay, with the concept of time blocking basically is, okay, within this stipulated time, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. Now, from 9 to 10, this is what I'm going to be doing. From 10 to 10:20, I'm going to take a break. Guys, learn to take breaks. From 10 to like maybe 10:20, fine. From 10:20 to this time, I'm achieving this. And nothing, see, you don't do anything else apart from that. These are time-saving techniques. It will actually help you, right? So, in conclusion, this may seem like a very hard statement, but it is. I mean it. If you want to succeed, go ahead. If you want to fail, go ahead. Regardless, guys, you're already achieving a goal. You're achieving a goal regardless. So if you want to succeed, go ahead and succeed. Do the things that you need to do. If you want to fail, still go ahead, right? Still go ahead and fail. But the truth is this, in everything, you are still achieving a goal. So that's where the statements, you can relate it to this statement that if you fail to plan, you have already planned to fail. Okay. So yes, I think at this point I'm going to stop and take questions. So thank you very much. So questions, if you have a question, just raise your hand and then I'm going to attend to it and then we can call it. So after that, please don't leave the call. I need to drop a few announcements for everyone, but let's finish up with our question and answer session. Okay, so first of all, Hilary, yes, unmute and ask your question.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon. I actually have three questions. The first one is I've been hearing on the Slack on the Discord channel about don't participate in more than one track. Like, how can somebody participate in more than one track? Because is it by tapping on the track and you see the message mean you're participating in more than one track? Because I don't want to be kicked out when probably I didn't know what I did wrong and they say I participate in one track. So I want to avoid that. And I actually don't know how one can participate in more than one track. Should I ask all the questions?
Okay, hold on. This question is not related to what we are doing here. Okay. So Imole, should I go ahead? Because this is not related to you don't have a
I can't
question. You don't have a question related to what we just talked about, because this one is your question is a bit different from what we have
It's
discussed.
for office hour, so
This
we'll attend to it after this. Like,
Okay,
so
I have a
after this,
question.
yeah. Let's just keep the questions. Hold on. Let's keep the questions with regarding to this session, right? And after this session, I'll stop the recording and then maybe we'll just take up and do office hours at the same time. Okay. So I'll answer it after this session. So do you have any other question?
Okay. Yes, I have.
Okay.
The other question is on social media. There is okay, I based in Owerri, and there's a trend about social media. Like, if you're not on social media, if you're not pulling out content on social media, you're not actually doing any stuff. So, what's the balance in building that's personal development and putting up on social media so you won't just be eating people's content and you're not dishing out? I don't know that it gets the question.
Okay. So this is it, right? We are living in a world of influence. That's why you have influencers, right? So a lot of persons wants to get you on social media, not because they care about you, but they also want you to be able to see their content. Because if I don't tell you, if you don't come online, and that is my source of income for people to see what I'm doing, generate traffic and all those stuff. So if you're not coming online, that means I'm not going to eat. So sometimes we should actually look at things two ways. Now, from a place of branding, okay, from a place of branding, because each and every one of you, of course, you should be, you should have a profile. You should have a brand. You should be a brand. Okay, people need to be able to see what you do. Okay, that's a fact. Not because you want to. There are people who are monetizing their content based on they want the platforms to pay them. But there are people who their reason for being there is for visibility, not because they want Facebook. No, they are looking for a bigger fish. So for a tech person, for example, right, your goal is not for Facebook to pay you, except that's your goal. It's fine. Then that means if that's your goal, you need to start churning out content that not see. That's the thing. You now have to think about churning out content that people will want to engage with. There are people who are churning out content, but it's not what people want. But that's what they feel they can give, or that's their own niche, right? And that's the thing. Social media can be very influencing. If you check the top 3 things that get users to be interested to view, you see that 3 of them are what they have moral, they are not really very upright. Okay. So the question is, as a tech person, is that the route you want to go to? Okay. So the balance there for me is this. Understand what you want to use it for. What's the purpose of you being on social media? What is the purpose? You have to define it. If it's for visibility, for people to see what you do, and probably attract, because you either want to attract potential employers, right? Or you want to more like build or teach or mentor people. In fact, in tech is either of these 2 things. Is that you're looking to put out yourself for potential employers, or you're trying to give out content that will help upcoming techies. Not is either of these 2. As a tech person, not some of that. So the balance there is you need to understand that your own content, your reason for being online is different from somebody who is trying to monetize Facebook and needs to be now looking at trends. For example, if you're a front-end person, right, what should you be doing on social media? The things you should post on social media should have to do with things that shows that you're a front-end person, right? That's what your content should be. It should be you talking about, you can actually have a blog, or you can, and your blog is not for Facebook. You should actually be on the likes of Twitter, Hashnode, Medium, right? These are for developers. Of course, designers can actually do all those things, right? That should be your form of that should be your online presence. That should be your goal, not trying to do skits. I'm not against skits, not watching all these. See, why the time you take, for example, this is another form of balance. The time you take to watch Sabinus and Reels, those Reels, are they in line with the tech trends? Are they about the latest technologies in front end, for example? Are they about the latest technologies in design? Do you even know, for designers, do you know the latest updates on Figma? When dev mode came out on Figma, did you know how to use it? Did you go online to YouTube to learn? Did you check a reel about it? If you learned it, did you even do 1 or 2 videos that shows how to use dev mode? See, as a tech person, your content should be what? It should be apt. You're not an influencer. If that is the route you want to go, fine. But understand achieve. What do you want to be known for? Right? And if it is tech, please, 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 and please strike a balance. I'm not trying to say you should not have fun. I'm not saying you should not check out Rema and the likes. What are their names? I usually don't listen to secular songs like that, so I don't really know. I don't even know, Seth. Davido and the right. And I'm not saying don't check their this thing page, know what is happening. Twitter can be a very distracting place, right? The truth is, I felt Twitter was, in fact, now Twitter, especially Twitter now is something else. It's a war zone. Twitter is a place, as people say, it's not for the weak. But the likes of LinkedIn, right? As a tech person, you should be your social media, as a tech person, should be Twitter, LinkedIn, and then some specific platforms that are specific to your skill. If it's designers, Behance, Dribble, all those platforms should be your online platforms, right? Okay, not Facebook. Facebook is a marketplace, not Instagram. I'm not saying tech cannot be done there, but it's not really, that's not really what it's for. Facebook is everybody. Tom, Dick, and Harry, 12-year-old is on Facebook with a grown-ass man picture, right? So that's basically what I'm just going to add to that. Do you have another question, Hilary?
Yes, I do have. Thank you very much for the answer. I really appreciate it. Then the other question is about you said before you go into um CodeCamp, you should have a goal. So my goal for going to taking this course is actually to I have ideas, and I paid someone previously to work on my website, and person is not giving me what I want. And I've actually tried to sort for team, but it's not really. I don't have the financial capability to pay professionals. So it's okay. Let me learn this stuff myself now, and I have restricted time based on how I want it. The time for me to be a full stack or to build the site completely would take more than a year. So how can I do that? Because I asked question, they say just start from front end. But what I actually want to achieve with it is not only just front end. So how can I um, um, balance this stuff? Or how can I achieve the goal with CodeCamp? Did you get my question?
Let me see if I can attempt to answer that from what I picked. Okay, so first of all, the way you started, you said you tried to pay someone and all those, you needed to build a website, right? See, from a business perspective, you can look for somebody and pay to build your website from a business perspective, right? If it's something that you want to put out there, I don't know what it is, and I'm not sure it's on this call that we should have that conversation, right? It could be personal, right?
So it's
Go and get.
actually already it's live
Sorry.
already, but advanced. I said it's live already, but I want to do some other features and advancements on it. So that's
Now, those
that's why I actually want to
features,
go into.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how important are they?
They are actually very important. I can say 10 because
Good.
I've
And do
seen the
they
roadmap
impact the
and
business? Do they impact the business?
yes, because I've
Then go
tried
and
it
get
out and I've
go and get somebody to do it. Like I said, this is from a business perspective. Tech takes time. That's the truth, right? So I'm not sure you'd want to hold down your business, right? Or the goal of that website because you want to get the skill to do it yourself, right? Um, find a way to get somebody to do it, okay? And finish it up. I'm speaking from a business perspective, okay? Because the time it to take you to learn these skills, when you're talking full stack, you will not do full stack. You will learn full stack in 4 months. You still need another extra 4 5 months, like you said, 1 year. So would you want to keep your website and your users away from those features because you want to learn it and implement it yourself? So one of the things you can do, find developers, right? There's apart from actual monetary payment, you can also negotiate equity. That's dependent. I don't know the business model. I don't know how much you hope to get or whatever. Or you do a time bound payment, or so time, this is the amount of pay. You just need negotiation. But that's what I'll tell you to do. Negotiate with someone and get it done. That's why I asked how important it is and the impact it has on the business, right? And of course, whatever decision you're making, you need to consider the return on investment. Okay, so that's just my own 2 cents. Okay, because if this was just a personal project that is not, there's no money attached, there's no financial income or whatever, and there are no users that are active, no problem, you can take your time. But if this is a business and it's something you hope to earn or you're earning on currently, don't keep your users waiting. Okay, get it done. Probably we can
Okay,
speak.
sir.
You can reach out to me later after this whole session.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I really
Yeah, so
appreciate
after we're done with this, we'll address I'll address the issue on the Discord issue you raised. Okay, so just stay on.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. That's all for
Okay,
now.
thank you. Samson, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so
Good
much,
afternoon.
Mr. Ike. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, please. You mentioned setting boundaries as one of maintaining of managing our time. And I want to ask, for example, if you're working in an office and intermittently your boss jump on you and tells you come and come, and how do you manage such scenarios, even after you have planned your schedule for the day and that seems interrupting your schedule? I know it's your superior at work and you have so many other things to do with your personal time. How or what will you advise that I do in such scenario?
Okay, so first of all, please, it's your boss. I don't want you to lose your job. Okay. So this is the thing about goals, right? Goals are not cast on stone, right? Schedules and all those stuff. It's something you can always readjust, especially if something new comes in and disrupts your timeline. It's always good to readjust. Now, one of the things I like to tell people, especially people working in offices and whatever, it's very good to develop a good relationship with your colleagues, also with your boss. It is very important. It's in the long run, it gives you a certain level of flexibility such that you can actually talk to your boss and he listens and understands. But the truth is this, before you get to that point, you have to be a person of value. You have to be a valuable member of the team such that they know that you are important, not just skill-wise, right, but character-wise. Right? It is very key. If you are someone who is troublesome and you don't deliver on stuff and everything, and you want to now go and do friend, nah, it won't work. But when you're valuable to the team and the team knows, it gives you certain preferences. It's just natural. It's just natural. You can talk to your boss, sir, please, within this time, I actually have this thing to do. Is it possible that I have so time to just focus on this and that? It's all about communication, but you have to get there. It's a relationship you have to build. But if you're not there yet and you have organized your time and everything, and then your boss comes up and gives you something out of the blue, please take it and do it. When you come back, readjust your time, please, so I don't lose your job. Readjust your time. Take it, do it. Don't rebel. Okay, don't push back. Okay, please. I think that's just my own 2 cents. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Emmanuel, I think you're the last person. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Ike. My question is on based on managing distraction. You outlined social media, movies, music, and multitasking. You see, that multitasking is where I have problem with. I would want you to throw more light on it because
Okay.
in the social in the markets in the marketplace out there, they will say multitasking is a skill we need to own to get jobs and all that. So is it that for tech, multitasking is like a no, or I don't that's why I really need to understand that. Thank you.
Okay. So let me say it exactly how I said it. I said multitasking actually is a form of distraction, right? If not properly managed. I believe I actually said that, right? So what is multitasking? Multitasking is being able to do two or more things, right, within a space of time. Multitasking is not I have to do this by 12. I have to do another thing that is not related to this by 1. Or I have to do another thing that's not related to this one I have to do by 1, but I have to do it by 3 or by 2:30. That's not really multitasking. Multitasking is you're in a particular time frame. Let's say in the space of 1 hour, you're running 3 different things. That's multitasking in a space of time. That's really multitasking, not having to do things at different times, even if they are not related. It's not multitasking. You're just doing your job. You're accomplishing tasks, right? Maybe you have a meeting by 1 o'clock, and then by 1:30 you have another meeting that is not related, and then by 2 o'clock you need to implement a feature. That's not multitasking, please. Okay, multitasking is, for example, from 12 to 1. In fact, my boss in Ebet is he does multitasking. There are times he's in 2 meetings or 3 meetings at the same time, listening in, like, okay, yeah, do this, do that. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, switch to, like, still the 3 meetings are running at the same time, and he's in those 3 meetings. That is an example of multitasking. Now, but it is also distraction if you don't manage it properly, right? It is a distraction if you don't manage it properly. If one of the things you're doing is making you inefficient in the other ones, then it is a distraction. You should actually probably just cut out and finish that one. Then it's a distraction. So you need to be able to manage having to do multiple activities at a time, such that those activities are done properly. They are done properly. It's not, it's a skill. That's why you hear that it's a skill, because it is not as easy as it sounds, right? It is not, that is a lot of brain power. It is not as easy as it sounds. It is not at all. That is why it can be a major distraction for people who are not able, right, to retain things in their memory, process it faster, and give it out. Because a lot of things will be coming. You have to do this. You have to do this. You have to do this. This is a typical example of multitasking is I'll just give you an example. I think one time I was doing design reviews, and I had to review 3 designs at the same time of 3 different projects, like at the same time. So what happened was, I think I was just share your screen. Okay, so on this one, I'll tell the person, okay, you see, this is actually wrong. You should actually have this. Check the alignment here. And then I switch to this person. Now I need to be able to come back to the first person and remember that this was the last feedback I gave. This was what I told the person to do, and be sure the person has done it, and then move on to the next thing. Okay, so that is what multitasking. So if you are not able to function properly in whatever areas you are actually working on at that given time, then one of them is a distraction to you, because it's just a distraction to achieving whatever goal you have. Okay, so I don't know if I helped you out with that, Emmanuel.
Yes, you did. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, two hands are raised. Okay, namespace, go ahead. After that, then let's just switch to office hours.
Okay,
Namespace, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know if you guys
Yes.
can hear me. Okay,
Yeah, go
Billy.
ahead.
It has been a nice session so far. I'm enjoying it. Okay, I have this little question I want to ask. I would like you to kind of explain to me or to us how can one set smart goals with effective time management skills, considering natural occurrences. I don't know if you got me.
Sorry, considering what?
Natural occurrences like things that may come naturally as setbacks to our goals and to our time. Even though we did set those goals and those time, but there could be natural occurrences. So can you throw light on that, how we could be able to handle situations like that? Thank you.
Okay, well, it's still like the same way. It's still the same thing in a way with this person's question. You know, when his boss comes up with something, right? Like you said, natural occurrences. It could be anything, right? It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be someone calling you that your friend is in police station. Don't worry, don't mind me
Yeah,
that I'm sounding negative. But I like to be realistic. It can be anything, right? It could be you don't have food to eat. It could be maybe you're working and all of a sudden they take lights and all of those
NEPA,
stuff.
yeah,
Good. Your data is finished, right?
it's finished.
So now this is it, right? Like I said before, goals, plans are readjustable. You just have to realign. Okay. So if you set out, let's say today, I have 5 tasks I want to accomplish. You've done one, you're probably on the second one, and then something comes up. Probably you have a call. Oh, this, you are needed somewhere, or you have to go and do something, right? Yes, it has encroached in your time. This is where priority and balance comes in, right? You ask yourself what you want to do now and what you're being called for. Which one which one do you want to, and which one should you do? If the goal is what you want to do, continue and postpone that one. But if this one is urgent, then it means that one of the things you can try to do is try to make sure that the thing that is taking you off should only occupy the allocated time for that second task. You should try. If you can't, then let it now probably let it now take the time of the second and the third one, right? Such that you can continue other goals. Okay. But in a case where it's something you can't control and it takes the whole of your day, that's fine. It's understandable, right? But you should be sure that it's understandable. What happens is these other unaccomplished ones now has to be carried over to the next day. Very important. So these things it's not cast on stone, right? But it helps you. That's why we said smart. You know, you have to be able to measure it and all those stuff like that. And all those stuff. So it is not cast on stone. It is adjustable. But the end is this. It must be done in the shortest time possible. No matter what happens, come back to it and still finish it up. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Nedu, your name sounds familiar.
Very, very familiar. Good afternoon.
Yes. The voice now. The voice. Yeah, go ahead. Good
Well,
afternoon.
this is actually particular for me. Thank you very much for this section. I truly, it is really one that actually helped me. So my whole question
Yeah.
is, I've been having issues. I will actually set my goal, and along the line, procrastination comes there. I will do it. 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 And at the end of the day, I just notice I won't be able to. Time will just go off. I won't be able to complete this camp. I don't know what advice can you actually give that could give me particular. Because along the line, there will be distraction will just come. Maybe at work, a job will just come up, and I won't be able to actually complete the task they are giving us. And I will ask, okay, anytime in the evening, I'll do it, I'll do it. And the evening will come, I'll just be tired from work and won't be able to actually complete that task. And I have noticed that most of the time, procrastination just comes in everything I want to do. I don't know. Is there anything you can, or is there any advice you can just give? Thank you.
Okay. Procrastination. So let me say this, right? Let me start by putting one or two definitions, right? That will help us. I'll start by telling you what procrastination is not, so that it will help you to know whether procrastination is actually your challenge or not. First of all, procrastination is not actually laziness. Okay? Because procrastinators, what you do is that you're putting off doing things. You're leaving them sometimes to the very last moment, or sometimes, sometimes we just want to, it's not really a symptom of laziness as people would think. Okay, so let me just clarify that. Okay. Relaxation is also not procrastination. Okay, so don't confuse it with relaxation. Sometimes you need to actually just choose not to do anything, right? So you rest your mind and everything. The truth is, there's this myth, right, that in as much as it's myth, it actually is a valid statement. Humans, we actually work better under pressure, right? And people say it's a myth, but it's actually very, very, very true. We actually work under pressure. Okay. So now the thing, I just wanted to put that out here, on a more generic note. So yeah, so basically you're basically asking how you can stop procrastinating, putting off stuff and all the likes. Well, you need to understand things like self-discipline, right? Motivation, planning, time management. Okay. But you may want to make what you learn about these things part of your daily routine, right? Okay. So this is basically what I'm saying. These are the things that will help you with procrastination. Number one, you need to have a personal vision or goal. That's the very first step. Okay. You need to have a personal goal. And your goal, like we have said, should have your what, your why, and your how. Why is very, very important. You see why? Anybody that does not have a why in this life is living a life that I don't understand. Because why is where you draw strength from when you feel like you cannot go on. Okay. Now, another thing that will help you in procrastination is having a to-do. Have a to-do list. Like these things I said, list it out. Just list it. Like I said, it's practice over time. Procrastination doesn't end in one day. It does not. But I'm just breaking down a few things, right? Have a to-do list of daily tasks. Okay. And then don't have a long one. Don't have a very long to-do list, except you have gotten to the point where you can handle it. Because when you have a long to-do list, it will pile on. And sometimes when we are stressed, when we see our to-do and see that you have so many things, you can get demoralized. Okay, so I have a to-do list, just a short one. It doesn't have to be long. When you're done with that, you can do another one. See, there's a sense of fulfillment and joy that comes when you accomplish stuff. And trust me, when you have a short to-do list and you're able to finish it up as early, you would want to pick up something again, because there is this hormone that has been released. There's how you just feel when you've accomplished something and you feel all jacked up. You want to actually go for more. But trust me, when it's very, very long, it's something that's difficult to deal with. Okay. So that's another way to kind of avoid procrastination or deal with it. Another thing is this: you need to have self-reflection is very important. I talk with myself a lot. I ask myself questions. I scold myself. There are days that I listed out stuff to do and I find myself, probably just pressing my phone. I'm like, okay, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? My friend, stand up from there. Look at the things you have to do and you're here whiling away your time, and then you tell somebody that the person should be serious with their life. Stand up now. I talk to myself, right? So sometimes you need to talk to yourself. See here, you are your own. See, you are the only person. You need to understand that as much as there are 7 point something billion in the world, somebody just dropped something, having an accountability partner could help. Yes, it could. But what happens when your accountability partner is not available? Right? Think of it as trying to break a habit. Okay, people go for AA meetings. For some of you that watch all these foreign movies, right? So people who drink, they go to all these AA meetings. And what are they trying to do there? They are trying to talk about it to other persons. They get to learn, and you have people you now have somebody you're accountable to who checks on you. And you notice in some of them, when their accountability partner dies or something, before you know it, they want to run back to that habit. But the truth is, in the end, you have to be able to stand alone. Very important. And that's why I talk to myself. You have to be able to stand alone, right? So the very most important thing is the first one I said, having a goal and a vision that is clear with a why. Your why has to be clear, right? When I picked up KodeCamp 1.0, right, I had to make the why clear. I was telling Mole yesterday, right? In I can't remember how the number of things, but let me just say this. In 1.0, 2.0, right, which is each training, each boot camp is 4 months, right? So that's 8 months. I don't think I've slept up to 15 to 20 hours. I don't think I slept up to 20 hours. First, I come to the office sometimes, my eyes are red because I'm holding sleep. Why? It's because I have a list of things to do and I make sure I am crossing them out. I don't try to give myself that space of, okay, I'll do this later. It's now that I can even do this later because to an extent I've gotten a hang of most of these things. For some of you that don't know, managing KodeCamp 1.0 was the first thing I've never done it in that scale before. I stepped into it. That's why I stepped into it. So there were times when I would want to put off stuff. Okay, I'll do this one later. I'll do this one later. Let me rest. I'm not saying you should not rest though. But when I think of the why gives me that strength. So hold on to your why. It's very important. Things will come in to distract you, right? Maybe you have to do something else, right? Do it, but come back. Okay, it's a step by step. It's not something you can break in one day. No, procrastination is like a habit. You can't break it in one day. Okay, but over time, continuously, showing up for yourself, continuously showing up and doing the things you have to do, right, gets you there. So, but the part of accountability partner is also cool, right? If you can have someone who, when you create a to-do, I have a friend who we have a group, a WhatsApp group, just the two of us. Every day we post our to-dos, right? Hey, what are you doing for the day? Put it down there. I put my own down there. And then we are doing check-in after, like, let's say 1 hour, 2 hours. Okay, how far have you gone? Oh yeah, how far have you gone? Right. So sometimes when the person is dragging, I drag the person up. When I'm the one dragging, the person drags me up. So accountability partner definitely can help. But the thing is this, you also have to build yourself to the point whereby if your accountability partner is not accountable, you can now become the accountability partner to your accountability partner. That sounds funny though, but that's just life. I just hope I was able to,
Yes.
guide you a bit.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, bro. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, Sunday. Let's go with you, please, and then let's round up. Alabi.
Yeah, thank you so much for that presentation. Thank you. Yeah, my question is this. Please, how do you think one can undo unfamiliar tasks with a very short deadline?
Okay. Give me an example. I understand what you're saying, but just give me an example. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so there was a time a task was given to me to do like on a Google console. So the task was like I didn't even know how to do it, and I was stuck that day.
Okay. So, unfamiliar tasks with a short deadline. So let me also use this to announce to each and every one of you that in KodeCamp, we give short deadlines. For some of you that don't know it now. We give short deadlines and it's intentional because we are preparing you for the world, for the tech space. The tech space is not funny, right? No company will employ you in a full month and you end up doing only 3 things and they will pay you in dollars. They will bastardize you with tasks and you have very, very short time. So in KodeCamp, we drill you for the world so that when you get there, doing things in a short time, it's not going to be news to you, right? Now, handling unfamiliar tasks, right? There are a few ways you can do that. First of all, if it's your personal stuff, if you're working for a company and you have an NDA signed, it means that you cannot communicate with an outsider about that project in such a way that they know what the project is about and what it entails. So that one already is a no-no. Okay. If it is unfamiliar, of course, you have resources out there. Go and start browsing. Go and browse your life out. But if there's someone within the organization you can reach out to, reach out. See, it doesn't make you look less. We have this ego and pride. We don't want to ask somebody so that it doesn't look like we don't know. But you don't know now. I don't understand. So why are you not trying to look like you know when you don't know? You don't know, you don't know, right? So you need to, one of the things that'll help you, learn to reach out, look for people who probably have knowledge about that unfamiliar task, right? As far as there is no NDA signed, when I say NDA, I mean non-disclosure agreements signed between you and the organization, such that it restricts you from giving out company information or assets or whatever, making it known to someone, right? If that is signed, then you're stuck with social media, you're stuck with online resources. You have ChatGPT, you have Google, you have a lot of tools. You have, for developers, you have Stack Overflow, you have a lot, right? So you have to be able to research. Okay. If there's no NDA signed, and then of course you can reach out to someone, right, and get the person involved. Okay, hey, I have this task, this is the deadline, how can you assist me, and all this stuff. So that's where you need to be able to research. And that's one thing you learn in KodeCamp. Some of the tasks will give you, you have to go and browse, you have to go and research, right? Not because we can't tell you how to go about it or the answers or whatever, but we're not helping you if we spoon feed you. Okay, so that's the little I can add to that. I don't know if it's helpful.
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Gym box. I don't know why you're raising your hands late. I think go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you. So you're talking about the why. So I don't know, please can you share maybe like two whys, maybe to help me to see if my why is strong enough. Like what are the pointers you can look at and say, my why is not strong enough? Or you can even share a why that I can help look at my why to reinforce when maybe if I'm unable to push.
Oh my
When
God, that's a lot of whys. Okay, apologies. I'm not, it's just actually, the way the whys was just coming in. My why, your why, and it just sounded funny. Okay, okay, let me see if I can help. Let me see if I can give a why that okay, so what's the slide? Okay, I can send the slides. So no, this is not the why. This is not my an intern, someone who comes into, okay, your why could be a problem you want to solve. Okay, that problem now requires you to learn a skill, financial freedom. Now, let me give a typical example. Well, of course, you guys know we're in tech. There are a lot of jobs that will be obsolete in no distance time, right? There are certain jobs you shouldn't even think of getting right now because it will be obsolete. AI is going to take over it, right? So your why could be financial liberty, knowing that you're in Nigeria. Sorry, I don't know if you're in Nigeria.
No, I'm a Nigerian.
Family you're coming from, I don't know, but I'm sure that you're not okay with your financial level. So getting a tech skill is a route to financial freedom, and that's actually fact. That's fact. It's fact. Duration differs, but it is fact, because like people say, tech is the new oil. So that could be your goal. So your why, right, is the reason why, is the reason for the action, is the reason for the process, is the reason for the stress. That is the why. Okay, so your why could also be because you want to solve a problem. I have a product I am working on that will launch soon, and it is to solve a problem. Now, because I want to solve that problem, right, I have to pick up a skill, a particular skill area in backend. I had to pick up a particular skill area in business. I had to study something on business. So my why for studying that, taking up that business course is because I need to be able to push out this product because there are people who need it. So the thing is, so whenever I see these people, I am reminded of my why. And then because I am reminded of my why, that reminder now goes down into me looking into the steps that I'm supposed to take. And when I find out that I'm not actually taking the necessary steps, that why pushes me to like, oh yeah, get back on track, get back on track. Okay. So that's like an example of a why. I don't know if this why validates your why and why your why should be the why that you need. Okay. So Alabi, I don't know if no, that was not Alabi. I can't remember that your name, something box. I don't know if that actually answered your question. Okay, so I think there are no questions anymore. Jim Box, yes, that was Jim Box, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So yeah. Okay, so so guys, thank you very much. In the absence of no other question, we're going to officially round up this session. So tomorrow, okay, tomorrow we're going to have the next session on communication. Right now, see, this is another session you don't want to miss because a lot of persons have missed opportunities because they don't understand what communication is about. And they don't even understand how to communicate with several people in different spheres of life. Okay, I'll give you a typical example, not to call anyone out. Somebody sent a message to a WhatsApp to our support listen, and then this was how the person said it. Let me try to paraphrase. A comrade of mine is having issues logging into Discord. Can you help us? Can you fix that? A comrade of mine, right? And I'm like, who is a comrade? Right? Who is comrade? Like, I don't understand. That's a rank or a title or whatever. So I'm not like, do we now have law officers or law enforcement or whatever that is in KodeCamp, right? Now, the truth is, what the person has failed to understand is this. That has given me a perspective of who and who he is, what he thinks, and the association. I'm not saying I'm going to be correct in whatever perception I have, but it has given me a perception. I may be wrong, but in the end, right? In the end, it is my perception. And if I perceive that this person is a no-no, whatever I would want to give, whatever opportunity I would want to make available, I wouldn't want to give to that person because in the first instance, the communication between me and that person has already showed that this person, no, not really. No. I think let me look for somebody else, right? So communication is very key. A lot of skillful people have lost out on things because of improper communication, not knowing that the way you talk with your friend is not the way you talk with your mentor. The way you talk with your mentor is not the way you talk with your trader. The way you talk to your trainer is not the way you talk to an admin. The way you talk to admin is not the way you talk to your boss. The way you talk to your sister is not the way you talk to your colleague. There are communication ethics for different sets of persons. And this is a skill you need to learn, especially where you're going to. For some of you that probably watched, I think it's then, there's this where people do pitches to potential investors. I've seen some of those episodes, and some persons, what disqualify them is not being able to communicate their product properly. In fact, in one of the sessions I watched, after the lady finished, one of the I forgot what they call them, had to now pitch it for her. Lions Den, thank you very much, marvelous. Had to pitch it for her, had to explain it, had to tell her this is how you would have communicated to get us what's involved. But now, even as much as I understand it, right, I can't still invest in you because I already seen that there is a communication flaw. So it means that it's possible that you run this business down. That was a very harsh one, right? So communication is key. So don't miss tomorrow, right? All these things we are trying to do is to prep you, not just for 4.0, but for the future. So don't miss out on that. You have someone seasoned enough that will run that with you. Somebody says, are you the one? No, I'm not the one. Somebody better than me is actually going to do that because my communication, see, if I talk about communication, you see a different aspect in KodeCamp because in KodeCamp, I'm brutal. I don't care about feelings, but normally you should care. You should have empathy. I don't have empathy when it comes to KodeCamp. So I'm not the best person to teach you on communication as far as KodeCamp is concerned, right? Maybe outside it, we can talk about that. Okay. So take notes. Okay. Don't miss out. Don't miss out on it. Okay. That session is going to hold tomorrow by 3 p.m. Right? We're going to have office hours by 12, right? To still, because we're trying to sort people's issues, right? We'll have that by 12, and then by 3 p.m. we're going to have the communication workshop. Do not miss out. I'll be there because I also want to learn one or two. I'll also be there. Okay. So officially, as far as this workshop is concerned, I want to say a big thank you, and let's have a wonderful
Excuse me, sir.
an amazing KodeCamp
Thank,
experience. Okay.
um,
Thank you.
excuse me.